Hey, After Effects, where you put the sound to? Uh, it's also like the first time I talk about my work publicly. Thank you. That was a very closed project. I only showed to friends. I never posted it to my portfolio, and I will probably do it in the upcoming days. I'm just doing this, posting my portfolio. And since the first sounds, the piano sounds, like I catched an idea that those piano sounds, they sound like little sparkles on the spaceship fuselage. Like when the sun hits it and it glares, like maybe those piano sounds sound like sparkles on the spaceship. Yeah, there they are. And when I catch this idea, I started to listen to the track further, and I started to hear more and more of the space theme, of how the track structure looks like a story. In the first section, it's like a little introduction, then it intensifies, then they go travel somewhere, and I really uh, invented like a whole plot for this music video. In the first hour, I got the song, and I wrote like a little Google Doc with just time codes and what happens when, and I throw it back to them like after an hour, and I say that's the plot. You're going to the space to save your girl. Yeah, the most basic story ever, and. Then immediately I started to do the storyboarding. Yeah, we met with Snea, and she told she did her storyboards for the upcoming project, and I said like, yeah, I have one story about storyboards. So that's the story. And my storyboard was just fucking stick figures. Like, yeah, there's this fucking spaceship, there's our hero, four of our heroes, like the drummer, the bass player, the After Effects autosave, the like accordionist, and the lead guy.
You just drew it with lines in After Effects?
Huh?
You just drew it with lines?
Yeah, it's shape layers in After Effects, like the simplest, the only tool I knew at the time. Like, for real, I didn't know how to use Blender, Cinema 4D, nothing. I just knew how to draw shapes in After Effects, and that was the fastest way to like push, like get my ideas out of my head onto the timeline. And there's the like space, the horizon, there's the control center, there's the manager of the team on the control center, and the yada da da da, the rocket flies, whatever, stick figures. Yeah, it's so fucking ambitious. It was 60 fucking frames. 60 frames, 60 individual scenes I had to accomplish somehow.
How long did you spend for creating this storyboard?
This storyboard, like maybe 2 days. Yeah, I
Cool.
found how to like place it with sound, how to tell the story. Like there's the gag where he flies in space. He looks at a planet. This planet looks like his girl. Like maybe here we should put her profile or something that looks like her. And he's like, oh my fucking god, I have a mission, and there's the meteor, and he's like, oh, there's danger, and let's fucking go, yeah, like fucking hyper jump, yeah, and then the some catastrophe, let's divide into like different spaceships, everybody appear in like different fucking spaceship, yeah, and then they go like in 4 different ways, this fucker kicks out the meteors, this guy like does something else. Why the fuck I thought that was possible? That's the question. Yeah. So the first lesson is like, yeah, you can get high to make ideas, but you have to have some sobriety. Yeah. So the basic story is like this. It was born like honestly in the first hour I knew how the song sounds like. Then I started to figure out the budget for this, figure out how to work with an illustrator, and I had a wonderful illustrator with me. And now I need to have an.
If you can play the actual storyboard, you said it has sound and stuff, right? It's timing and everything. Because it's animated, it's great.
This one, it probably has something to do with the sound. Yeah, I had some ideas. Like, okay, the start of the story. Our hero. So this song is called "Only Call Me." So yeah, "Only Call Me," and they look on the space discovery device, and there's the signal,
And his eyes
and
widen.
he's like, yeah, that's her, and that's the manager of the band, and he starts the rocket ship. Yeah, it's so much ambition, once again. Yeah, and.
Let's
Wait, play it, play it.
It's cool.
Oh.
You don't want to watch
Oh,
it?
okay. I want to play it partially. Yeah, it connects to the sound. Yeah, like that's how I understand music. Like I see the. Now it's a little more spaced out. They're in space. Yeah.
Storyboard is just a sketch for a video clip.
Yeah. It's like how the plot should look like.
So it's you invented not only pictures but also text.
Also text, like yeah, text description, animations, like how the timings for the scenes should look like.
You at first so you somehow show it to original author of this music.
Yeah.
Author of this music.
I show them this, yeah.
Okay.
I render this and I
Okay.
throw it to them and I say, we'll do a fucking cartoon for you. It's a full-blown music video. Yes, I can do it.
Wow,
Yeah.
storyboard is great. I think it says nice animation.
I will tell you how fucking great it is. So, next step is... okay, we figured out the budget. It was fucking breadcrumbs. And I didn't know how much it costs in the time and...
What was the budget?
it's $2K. Yeah.
For 2 minutes animation like that.
3 minutes of animation, yeah, with this intensity, with this scale, with like 6 characters.
And 5
fucking,
spaceships.
yeah, and 5 spaceships and like a whole space station. Yeah, way too much ambition, way too little idea of how this actually works. And I started making fucking Google Docs. Yeah,
Wow.
like there's like how it all should work. And I had an amazing illustrator who worked with me before to make visuals for this band for concerts. And the way we worked with her, I just throw my ideas and hey, nice to see you. So long story short, I'm showing how ambitious my first music video project was. Yeah, so I got high. I got the idea of how this music video should look like in the 2 to 3 first listens, and in 2 days I made a storyboard with 60 frames, and I send it to them and I say, we will do a fucking cartoon for your music video. Budget $2K. Let's fucking go. Yeah.
Matters?
Yeah, it's for them. Yeah. So I always has like any scale of ideas as long as I can make them. Like if I want to make something, I can do anything for them. Like they just trust me head to toes. And so I throw this.
And what they thought, yes, we do it.
Yeah, they said amazing,
course.
amazing. Like imagine you throw a song and you get a fucking storyboard in 2 days. Like the script in 1 hour and the
Ah.
storyboard in 2 days.
Okay.
And this size of ambition, 60 individually painted frames. I know how to kind of organize that. We use one character drawing here, we do a rig, and we reuse it in later scenes, but 6 fucking characters, 6 fucking rigs, 4 spaceships, whatever. Like, I've said it way too many times. Okay, I want to show you how our work with the illustrator, or with my first illustrator, looked like. I showed her those stick figures and said like that's how the music video should work. And there was no clear direction about how composition should look like, about what characters should look like. There was no references. I just trusted her artistic skills because like, all the times we work together, she just throws beautiful stuff and it works every fucking time. Yeah, we had a long discussion. So, the moment we started doing the research on reference, it was in our Telegram chat. Yeah, and she started throwing like what the spaceship can look like, what the
Who was it?
So
what huh?
It's a person you collaborated on this?
Yeah, it's the illustrator girl we worked multiple times, and like basically I give her no strict guidelines and she just does amazing fucking job. She has lots of different styles she can manage
That's very cool.
to do cool graphics, but having a stick figure compositions, she was way too free to do any kind of concepts. And so yeah, the development is very cool. Like it works. It's fucking amazing. And we started with the hardest scene, the first one, and she did this composition. And I spent I don't know how many days animating this. Like she just gave me the black and white picture, and we figured out how to do it. Lots of research, and all for zero fucking budget. She worked for nothing. I don't know how much money I paid to her, and how much I abused her talent without any clear direction. But anyway, she made one illustration, and I tried to make a scene out of it. Like that's her illustration, basically. And that's it in Photoshop, and I spent like maybe 1.5 week trying to animate it, and I get. I'm so sorry. I had some technical sketches too. Yeah, cool. Her fucking asteroid. I remember them. They're so fucking those ones.
So at this point, you're still not realizing that it's maybe a little bit harder than you thought.
Yeah, I spent 1.5 weeks. That's my black and white sketch in After Effects. It's a week passed. Then I start to animate it. Then another week passes. Oh wow, that's the colors. And then that's the scene. Okay, yeah, the glow, the parallax, the colors, with some kind of aesthetics happening. Yeah, it's going somewhere.
It's reasonable, yeah, it's very cool.
2 weeks in. 2 weeks in.
And that was just After Effects?
Yeah, and
it just was 5 seconds.
yeah, you
There was a deadline for this project from the group.
What's
There
that?
was a deadline, strict deadline.
Yeah, from the time they asked me to do it to the deadline, it was 3 months, 2 weeks. I've spent maybe 2 weeks working with the illustrator before it was a week talking about the budget, and then we start exploring what about the face animations. She
Wow,
d-
that's
drew
really cool.
the face of the frontman, yeah, and
How is it made?
uh, yeah, it has a whole fucking face rig 2D.
Wow.
What?
Yeah. The 3.5 weeks in.
Where did you get this guy?
That's the artist. I just came to the studio. I took photos. I sent it to her. I say like, do it
What's
like
going on?
artistically. Yeah. It's when you push the rig too far. Yeah, it's like 2D rig,
What
and
is a 2D rig?
so this controller it's
2D graphics.
it's basically the head direction going up or down or left to right.
Like,
High.
don't you need you need multiple frames?
Multiple frames? No,
Like-
it's just here it's a shape layer, and I have those vector points connected to this with some multiplier, and the nose moves like 1x, the cheek moves 0.8x because the
It's like a little parallax.
yeah, you have to parallax
Yeah,
the
but
face.
if you wanted the face to do a 90-degree
You can't.
Uh, yeah, in cartoons you do like slow movement here, fast movement here, then you abruptly cut it to like profile picture and no rigging needed. And all the rigging does according to all the rigging is done. It is planned according to the goals. If I had no goal to move his head 90 degrees, I didn't have to do like a full head rig. I just needed him to emote, and that's all that I did. Yeah, and we started developing the hardest shots. Like here's the 4 guys. That's her concept. Fucking amazing. And I spent 2 weeks rigging this scene.
Yes.
Yeah, and
It's more complicated.
it's way more complicated than I anticipated. Yeah, development, and I'm starting to get really pissed.
Maybe you should add here some kind of artificial intelligent, I don't know. And,
3 years ago, bro.
It will be special.
There's some more
Yeah.
development, yeah, and there's the illustration, the
Wow.
guys. Yeah,
Wow.
it's all so fucking cool. I try to describe to her the composition in my abilities with Cinema 4D. Yeah, that's how the character should look up. Like he's like, yeah, there's our girl, and he's like presses the button, cool, and that's my flat in St. Petersburg. I miss it so much. Yeah, and we developed way too much without any fucking reference. That's the face of the bank manager. Yeah, and
Kevin Spacey also.
yeah,
Also,
yeah,
the style of this animation you were going for is so detailed.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's, the story is about the collision of ambition to the reality. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I started to get really pissed. Like I do shadows separately, highlights separately. It's all fucking 2D animation. It has to be rigged, planned, whatever. And when I get really pissed, I finish this scene blocking out in After Effects, and the month has passed at this point.
Months?
Month. I have just 2 scenes, like 1.5, and
10 seconds.
no animation here. It's just concepts. Not even the whole story is working, and I start to get really anxious. And I see this shot that I have to rig 4 individual characters. They have to do like this action. They have to emote. What the fuck was I thinking?
Я вижу, что тут еще конь не валялся.
It's so fucked up. Yeah, it's
I see that there's
it's-
not even like there's expression in Russian. There's like nothing is done here yet.
yeah, it's shit. Like все через жопу. So it feels fucking yeah. Let's get
Oh.
2D references, of course.
She started to make
Yeah, she
several
started to-
illustration,
yeah.
several. Is it what? Can you show this gift
That's
again?
that's from the artist who did this.
She make basically
No, 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 no,
10
no.
pictures
That's
of this guy.
That's somebody's Twitter post. That's
Okay.
that's 2D animation. Hello,
Okay.
like yeah, it's 10 individual pictures with
Yeah,
like
yeah.
perfect artistry, like the way everything. It's so much skill to do
Yeah.
it. It's incredible skill to do 2D animation. Like all those bubbly generative stuff, it's just dog shit compared to 2D animation. 2D animation is the fucking best, and I never want to do it because it's so hard. So that was the one of the great references.
Okay.
So okay, a month passes. There is 1.5 month to go, and I feel like it looks like I start to get incredibly anxious. It seems like I will not complete this task.
So you realized that, and what you have done?
Yeah. What I had done, I sent.
Forwarded.
Oh yeah, that's my message for. I highly underestimated the complication level for full-scale animation, and I don't have enough experience to build production with expectedly cool results. I will have this experience later. I spent weeks working on 4 shots, and I see that the result is going nowhere. I will solve this task in some other fashion. And there's the voice message from the band leader if you want to hear it.
Yeah, of course.
Ну, это совершенно верное взрослое решение. Единственное, что было бы неплохо, чтобы ты один только заявочный кадр задал в начале, что не хватает одного человека, чтобы было понятно, что они за кем-то летят.
So that was the commentary about the story, that we need to make it clear that there is one person missing and they are looking about that person in space. But also he said that's a good decision. You're a brave guy to stop the project and
I mean, it's great message what you wrote. You communicated clearly.
Yeah. It was so hard. It's the hardest shit in my life. It was the
As reference for
fuck.
when we have to do this.
fucking god.
I also wanted
So much pain. Okay, so I send this fucking message and I feel like, okay, I have to figure out another plan. Okay, I'm not a movie director, I'm not a cartoon animator, I know nothing about this. I'm a fucking motion designer. And how do I simplify this task to the bare minimum? Like, without even sketches, without the stick figures, nothing. And I don't know how I came up with this technique. Fucking hell. I'm sorry. It covers the interface.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We took out this and this, yeah, and we get more of the timeline. Okay, and so at this time I developed the technique I wanted to tell you about. So how do you boil the idea of the music video down to pure nothingness, like only story beats? I made this. That's my plan. That's just keyframed, solid in After Effects. So now if we play it, I just decide where the cuts are, where the intensity changes. Okay. And so the purest form of art direction is using only color to decide the structure of your music video. There is a structure in song, and you have to kind of understand how you can make it a visual structure. And that's the technique I use till this fucking day. I listen to the track and I just push the keyframes with colors on a solid.
Okay.
That's the end. Goodbye. But there's more to the story. Okay. And also I use like basic text
It's not
description.
even color, it's just
So
black and white.
you associating
No, there was red.
instead of a storybook, you making a gradient of colors.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like some people, you know that some people have this kind of mindset.
Synesthesia?
Yes, synesthesia.
Yeah.
Yes, so when the people are thinking about something, they have some colors associated with
Mhm.
this. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
The
Things,
sound,
things,
the sound.
with the sound.
Yeah.
Sometimes sounds, sometimes colors.
Yeah.
It's,
Here it's not about synesthesia, it's
Okay.
about like basic intensity of the sound. Like
yeah.
there's the
So
I
you're
don't know.
basically making some kind. You translating music to
Intensity of music
to
or-
to gradient.
Not really music, but the story I hear in music. I just cut it to different chapters. And before, when I was high and I planned this, I had 63 cartoon shots. Here, I planned it to 18 scenes.
Okay.
18. And at the moment, I started to realize the things are going to crap. Like when we just started to work with Illustrator, I started watching, like here was my laptop with all the art direction tables and After Effects, and here was Star Wars, like TV series about space, cartoons, somebody's artworks. So I just wanted to learn about the references. At the same time I started to do it, and it was not the right way. And by the time I figured out it's going to crap, I had enough visual references to start building like a real understanding of the composition. Like that's my second storyboard when I said like the first is going to shit, let's figure out another one. Like compare this to that.
Okay, yeah.
You
yeah.
are as free as you can be in the placement, in the composition, in anything. The problem was like she threw perfectly good sketches, but they didn't work as I needed. Like I needed to tell the story. I had some camera movements in my head that will tell the story. Like I needed the parallax to do this, to then switch to this composition, to then switch to the central composition, and it was not very clear from this storyboard. Nothing was clear from this storyboard, and I knew the problem was with communication, how I make the test for the Illustrator, because what I got was nothing like what I wanted. Good, but unusable. And then I started to plan my steps really detailed to get the result I needed.
So what you told to this illustrator after you get this
I said to her like, I'm sorry that this whole development is closed for now. Yeah, because I didn't have a clear idea of how this works. So the message I showed to you, it was not with the dialogue with the artist, it was with the dialogue with my illustrator. I just sent it directly to her so that she knows the situation. Like I fucked up. Like I don't know how to do it as the first plan.
Yeah.
It was quite painful. Yeah. But now I know how to do those, and that's not a complete cartoon workflow. It's like motion design, and I planned the storyboard so thoroughly that in the how do you turn down the levels?
It's one of those knobs, yeah.
This one probably. I planned the second storyboard so good that those keyframes are in the final version. like how the camera moves up. I couldn't do it in my second attempt in my like full video, and the keyframes from here are in the final video. Yeah, and the concepts are getting really simple. Like it's just parallax. It should be a rocket here, but the project is 3 years old and it's messy to look at it now. There's the hyper jump, as basic as it can be. There's the meteors. There's the. So I really know what I want to do now. I know the timings perfectly. I know the compositions are basic. There's no finger movement. There's no faces. There's no nothing.
Yeah.
I know how to do it as a motion designer.
Yeah.
You just.
Because artist it's thinking about that, and it's so intensive with a lot of details.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
it's not important to tell the story.
Yeah.
It's not important to tell the story. It's basically okay. The guys
But you get
looking at the space.
But
There's
you
the
get
signal.
from her some kind of style, some kind of.
Yeah, I will tell. I will tell about it. True. And
Can I also ask a question? It's interesting. It's like you don't really like. It seems like you don't realize the scope of work, but the way you approach the task is very like knowledgeable. Like you know, like a storyboard. You like
Yeah.
really laying down.
and
this-
it's my
did you-
it's my first project.
Like, did you learn it somewhere?
No.
Like, how you like?
No.
How do you come up with this like flow?
Really, thank you for this question. That's the way my mind works. I listen to music and I know how to do the story from the sounds. I just fucking feel it. Like
But
it's
then there's also like all this skill, right? To be able to lay down into the storyboard. Like you know, people go and like actually, you know, it's not. It doesn't come like, you know.
well, I was a motion designer for 2 years beforehand. I worked at a studio and they developed like 2D explainer videos.
And they also
for-
kind of work with storyboards and stuff. And
Yeah, and I've seen how this works. Like how do you do storyboards to tell your ideas? But the way I do storyboards with animation, it's different. It's not like we need this shot, this shot, this shot. I'm planning how to do the story according to how I hear the music and the story which I get from the music. This track has perfect sound design inside the track. Like here, when the rocket starts, here it was spacious, and then it's a lot of bass sounds.
Yeah.
It's
So this is from the first gradients that you take. You making shots with these gradients. You just build in music,
yeah.
different layers of different sections, bass section, some percussion, some.
kinda, and also I was trying to make the first storyboard work, and I know this story. Like its story works with the music, but the amount of shots is outrageous. And it's the same story, but boiled down to what a motion designer can do. And the goal in those like keyframes was just make as little scenes as possible to tell the story.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I know the story. It's just transformed.
So also you how we call it? You negotiating this story with Yura musician. Yes. So he accepts this story.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's why you following this story, but you decided to make it much simpler that you.
Yeah, the visual.
Did you
yeah.
plan it at first?
Yeah. And also, I plan to implement the lyrics in every frame. I wanted it to still be like a music video with the quality of animation, but it doesn't work if I have if there is no text. It doesn't work like a complete animation. So then I add text. I figure out how to put text according to design, according to like how the story flows. Like those letters are the name of the song, and they appear quite a lot. Here, here, here. Here. Um, yep. Oh, spoiler. So the story was okay. Now the guy flies through a cloud of asteroids. He comes. Oh, there was one section I fucking broke my head. How to what a visual should be like. Like, listen to this. So it's like very soft talk to a girl. Like, if you're worried about anything, I will solve all the problems. It sounds like pink, blurry, hugging postcards vibe. Yeah, and my story is like meteors and spaceships. And this scene was the fucking brain twister. I said to Yura, like, I'm sorry, I have never loved so much to understand how to do the graphics for this section. Yeah, and so the solution for this frame was, yeah, like straight video game shit. Then he comes to a spaceship, they connect, they like exchange powers, they throw all the meteors away, that's the girl. Oh no, that's the Yura, that's the band leader, and that's her girl, his girl. Yeah, and they meet in the space, oh so cool, that's the end of the story.
Huh?
Yeah, and I show this second storyboard, and I know it works. Now it works. Previous one was full of shit.
Yeah.
But they liked first one.
Yeah.
And when I showed the second one, I don't want to find this voice message, but he said, that's a total nut job. I don't believe that will work. I don't believe you have to invest time any longer into this, because there is more time, there is more money, and I feel like the result will be crap. I don't believe it now. When I showed this storyboard.
Okay.
Yeah, it was less ambitious, it was less cuts,
Yeah.
but I knew that now it works. I know how to produce it.
Okay, but
And I said to
the
him,
hackers, the guy from the hackers say that okay, but right now I don't like
yeah,
the
it's
storyboard.
you should not invest any more time and money into this. I
Yeah.
don't believe that it's going to be good.
So he stopped to believe that it will be.
Yeah, but I did not. And
So
yeah,
you make a fun video. It's kind of you finish this project. No?
yeah. I said to him, like, Yura, you do not understand.
Okay.
I will continue.
Okay.
Like, and he said, like,
Okay.
Wha-
Whatever.
whatever, maybe
Yeah.
the art style will save it or
Yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
let's try, he said. And I'm like, oh, no. He said something like, now you have to, how do you say it in English? Доказать. You have to prove that
Yeah.
you're worthy. And I'm like,
What?
fuck you, I want to finish it. I don't have to prove anything. I need to finish it. Like, that's
Okay.
what I need, not to prove something to you, fucker. Yeah, I felt so much strength when I knew how to solve it. Like, the month before, I was like,
Yeah.
I will do it, but how the fuck? I'm
Yeah.
so confused, and now I know the solution. It's just a matter of time and effort to put it out. And we started to develop the arts with the first illustrator. We continued to develop them, and she made awesome. So now I show her the second storyboard. Like, that's our story. 18 shots. That's
Okay,
it.
okay.
18 shots. She's like, okay. That's the concept for title, whatever. And I started to collect the concept art, the references. I had a folder on my desktop with 2 gigabytes of space pictures. Yeah, and I knew how to solve every fucking space problem. And here's yeah. And here's her concept on space station. I still give her no like clear guidance to how to do this, and I see this idea, and I'm like, okay. And she made this mechanics, like it can expand and contract. Wowzers, wowzers, yeah, that's something, and I really appreciated this. And then I like, if it expands, let's connect the spaceship here. And we're like, okay, it's going somewhere, and maybe this spaceship should be like a diamond ring, and this is the ring, and that's like an engagement symbol, and yeah, like, and once again, way too much ambition, but this worked. Yeah, hey, like that's the engine, maybe. Yeah,
Whoa.
okay, let's go.
Wow.
Yeah. Something starts to work out. But at the same time, I was not very happy with how this looks. I'm like, nah, I can animate it, but I don't see it will be beautiful. I see that I have to do like shape layers all over it and draw like, so I have to recompose it everything so that it will look like something. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? There is no detail, like she doesn't really understand how to, maybe she was exhausted with me. I think it's like, it's a part of the story. And at this time I start to look for another illustrator. Yeah.
So fuck, you abuse it.
I feel so sorry for her. Like we worked like maybe 3 more times, and I asked her like multiple times if that's okay. What happened here? And she's like, "Yeah, you paid the money. It was interesting. Like whatever, it didn't work."
Okay.
And she was way more experienced in design than I am, and like now, I'm super okay that I can develop something for 3 months and then it's like it's just cancelled because it's how it works. Sometimes it doesn't get to the finish line. It's okay. Like you throw the stuff on the wall and then it falls down. It's super okay. But at the first fucking at my first artistic experience, it was way too painful to understand that I invested time, money, and another human's effort into something that doesn't work. It was super fucking painful. So you want to hear the complete story about this music video? I can tell you more about like how the technique of planning visuals works, but I can.
Wait a minute, I not understand. So the diamond, you created the diamond, and at what point you decided that something wrong?
I don't
really understand what was the distraction.
I really didn't like the style. So I know that now the animation will be really simple. It's going to be like a music video with motion design.
Okay.
And with basic illustration that my first illustrator made when she was exhausted, it didn't work. Like the artwork should be better.
I feel like she was going for kind of like a detailed style. It looks cool as a graphic piece, but once you start bringing this color, and you need to kind of like, I guess, work out all these details and make them animated, and it's just too much work. Is that accurate?
No, it was not expressive enough artistically. The sketch I showed you with the like gray space, and also the colors are awful. No,
They're just black and white.
No, it was colors. But anyway, I felt like it's not going to work. Like the illustration quality is not good. And then I find this guy, and he does this, and I'm sorry, and, not the other way. And that's his works. He is from Kazakhstan, and he has some anime influence to his works. And I'm looking at this, and I'm in love. So fucking good. It's cartoony, it's modern, it's fucking beautiful. Let's fucking go. And we start to develop. I throw the...
So it is his pictures directly, and you just moving parts of it, part of pictures, or what?
I will show you how it
okay.
turned out in the end. So that's his illustration style, and I'm in love. so cool, so fucking cool. And that's the concept from that the girl developed. I said like how it should work. That's his first illustration.
Wow.
That's his second illustration. So much detail. You can cut it. It can be animated. That's his spaceship. I'm in love. So good. So fucking good. Hey. But it's good. But his meteors they look like poop. But the spaceships.
He's a meteor artist.
Yeah, and I say like look at these sketches, like just paint over them, like they're perfectly fine. Yeah.
Oh, there's a
It was for sure a joke.
What the fuck? This one's cool. This one can be found in the final music video.
But the one in the
No.
middle.
No.
It's a space poop.
Yeah. And we start to develop the concepts. Like like look at the change in my technical in how I put the task. Like what should he draw? There's the reference for how the space should look like. There's the maybe. Oh yeah, that's the best one, probably. No. Yeah. Now I found the reference of this building. It looks cool. It works as a space station. I found this concept art, which helped me not to draw the platform. You can hide it behind the mountains. And I use this solution here. We just don't draw all the technical details. We don't do the space city, all the connections. Fuck it. We just hide it behind the mountains. That's the art style we're going for. So now I know what I want. Now I throw the correct references, correct composition, and we start working, like really working. And it's going somewhere. I know how the control center look like. I know what the details should be, the holograms, the like details of this space, how the map should look like. I had all the references. This shit again. That's the like top-down view of the command center. I know what I want now. It's so good to know what I want. The technique changed dramatically. Like from the first concept where I just said like do whatever, that's the plot and nothing works. Now I know how to make every task work. And so that's the illustrations I start to get, and we developed and developed and developed and developed and developed and developed. So he did like line work mostly, and I remade it in After Effects. That's the announcement for for this fucking talk. Yeah. Here's the the first
guy again.
Yeah. That guy again. He.
So this guy also.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're. What's going on? Yeah.
Great reference.
That's how you. Thank you. That's the posture he had to have. That's his solution. Way too enemy in the eyes. Bro, let's cut down on the anime. And I think that was that was our final guy. And we developed this scene. She looks like a skull with a nose. Yeah, it was a lot of work. And so the time it took to produce the final project, since I had an idea of this timeline till the finished project, it was 1 month. 1 month, like balls to the wall, just work 16 hours a day, no standing up. Yeah, but I know how. I knew how to do it. I knew how to finish it, and that's why I'm okay with working 16 hours as long as I know what to do. That's the big problem in my life, to know what to do. Like I would like.
What was your schedule? You just wake up, go work?
Yeah, I was like raw vegan with, and I also took like food pauses for like 2 days for sometimes just not to spend time on food.
Really?
Yeah, it was quite a time of my life. So I can show you the project with all the 2D animation. We started, some elements were 3D with like 2D textures that look like 3D, like it's 3D but it looks 2D. Like there's the cockpit, there's how the lights should work, development, and then he yeah, I feel like he kind of burnt out, and
No, it's cool.
I didn't use this sketch.
No?
Yeah, I
You
used.
didn't use it?
Yeah, we had a different face. It was cool, and I reanimated it.
So at this point, this like during this month, you're not communicating to the author of the song at all.
Well, I said I will do it. I started showing them the renders I had.
So you did show some progress.
Yeah. I showed like little teasers. Like there's some new development. Like that's how the story looks now. I show them this. I show them this. Okay, it's getting somewhere. It's getting somewhere. Yeah. I showed them those parts of work. What was the first? Here I don't have the. Wait.
Ну теперь что? Ну как кто-то шагнул за пацаном.
I had way too much fun. So I started to show the pictures, and they started to believe like little by little. But they didn't know how the final music video will work out, and I think it's time I show you the final music video. We can go through the project if you're interested.
Is it famous?
Huh?
Is it famous?
No, you reckon? You reckon?
This one?
Show us the final. Let's take a small break.
Small break?
Oh,
Small break.
yeah. Well, it's here, but it's not.
I don't really want a
It's
small
just
break.
streaming.
Just three.
Who's online? Someone else.
It's Vincent.
Vincent's here? Hey, Vincent. Wait, what? Where did you post it?
I posted them in our chat.
Really?
Oh, you should record this. Actually, really cool.
I don't have a fucking final render on my drives. Let's go on YouTube.
Where did you post it? Vincent.
Okay.
I don't know how you can record from this one. Yeah. But next time maybe we'll put it on
Maybe
YouTube.
Bandika.
Okay.
Next time we can put it on YouTube. YouTube it and record.
there's too much people. Have you noticed on the Только Поза there's different colors on the
Yes.
rocket?
Yes,
Thank you so much.
Yes. Yes, I noticed it.
Thank you. And now the salt waters are clashing on the cold floor. In your heart, the ice piece will not handle anymore.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and Sila Sveta doesn't know how to make the twisted texture. Yeah. Here is my biggest mistake. I had to crop in the center, then middle crop, then the whole stage, because it's nothing happening for like 20 seconds, but it's just simple cuts in the scene. Whatever.
So cool, actually. I like it. Wow.
This one. Yeah, I will tell you.
That's very sad.
Signal lost. Uh-huh. Thank you. So, when I showed the original storyboard, they said like all cool, but one note. In the end, they all have to die.
Because it was, I think it was because it was too, how it called, too sweet.
Too sweet.
Yeah.
And also,
And then you just 1 second meteor crash. I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
yeah, it was not.
Actually, it looks like someone with big sport just break it, this starship.
Well, I actually think they survive in that module in the corner.
Yeah. Nobody knows the real story. Oh my, thank you guys. So what I wanted to say, please don't give me all the credit for this music video. Like when I watched the interviews with the guys, they do their songs like they do movies. They have plots inside their music, and I was able to decode that. Like, have you seen like this moment? Explosion, whatever. Look, listen. Like now. It's like gas release from like door opening. Like it's in the song, and all those.
How many times you listen to the song?
Way too much. Like, you hear the crackles?
So,
tracklist.
Yeah.
Everything is there. It like I invented nothing, but I just listened to the song and connected the pieces, and this project helped me figure out the way I need to, the way how to structure my ideas about how to do visuals over music. So that concept, when I use like straight keyframes to structure the projects, I use now. I can show you more projects. If you want to, I can show you the 2D animation back door of this project, but we can just get to the points of the discussion of how to plan visuals. Okay, I think we will get to the point.
Yeah, very interesting actually story, I think.
Yeah, and I had this story for the longest time. Like, I maybe told it to 3 of my girlfriends, and that's
So
it.
So you was trained. You just take the story and
Well,
you
I lived the story.
read
Yeah.
with this story several times when you talk to someone.
Yeah, and I would like to tell it so many more times.
Yeah.
Um,
This is actually we should record this. I think it's very cool. This story was very cool. Yes.
Thank you. My dream.
Maybe next time when you will forget a little bit and you will recall it again.
Yeah, maybe.
And maybe you should record it in somewhere because the story is really cool. It have feelings. It have
It has technical side.
yes, technical side and the result. Yes.
Thank you so much. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would really like this story. It's my first time speaking publicly about my work, and it's such a fucking pleasure. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to the guys who are here.
Don't kill yourself, please. So my life is done. Yeah, the story is really solid, I think. Yeah.
And for real, this way of thinking works for me now in every music project. When I worked in the studios, I get a sound and I start with the solid and I put the colors on the beats of the music.
Actually, when I make a video,
Yeah, maybe it's
I make some kind of shots of it's called kill shots. Or
kill shots.
When you playing in the video game, and I make it just a bit. I posted a video on YouTube with kill shots in the game. It was a game about it's kind of World of War tanks, but it's space with space, something like that. And it's like a shooter actually. You just go in and killing everyone with some guns, and you can. So basically, you can make a video of your kill shots when you're killing someone.
Yeah, that's.
You can find these videos about Counter-Strike, about
Yeah,
any game.
it's
And
how people get into.
When I done it, this video, I at first I take music, and then I started to pick my kill shots in this video.
Do
and
they
I,
fit?
and,
Yeah.
and I done it exactly like you do. When the music is become different, when the edit bass section, for example, or something, something another in the music, I'm changing this like you. And so when you say it, I realize I'm making the same actually, and I'm trying to. You ask a question. did you hear that when the music is changed, I changed this color?
Mhm.
I am making exactly the same thing actually.
It's a very naive way to work.
Yeah, but it works.
It's very obvious, but
It's like a music video, AMV maybe.
AMV, yeah. AMV is about anime.
Yes,
Yeah.
when you make when you take some music, I
Mhm.
recently I started to see one guy on YouTube. What he's doing? He saw a lot of series, a lot of movies, so fucking huge, a lot of movies.
And he
just,
does music
he-
videos from
Yes,
movies?
and also he loves music.
Uh-huh.
And what he doing on YouTube, he put some. He take some music
Mhm.
with words, and later he get in some series that fit to this music, to this
Mhm,
words,
mhm.
and he's starting to put this. I can show it. I can show you this guy. And when I started to look at this, the first time the first video that I logged from him, it's a Requiem for a Dream. It's just
Mhm,
a basic movie. But later YouTube started to suggest me
More of his
more
stuff,
video
yeah.
because I hear this music video too much, and YouTube started to suggest
How's
me.
Requiem for a Dream related to this?
No, I just wanted Pixie song, and he
Huh.
put on this Pixie song
I
Requiem
see.
for a Dream with this scene with when they lying on the floor
Mhm.
together and the camera is moving from the
Yeah, I love that scene. Yeah.
yeah, and he using this scene and later YouTube started to suggest me video, and I fucking love it. He connecting video and music in his mind, and when
But no, in your mind, it doesn't work.
No,
in,
no.
in your mind, it's not real world. It's fantasy. It's you think it works, but you have to prove it. You have to figure out the technique to prove it.
He choose
Mhm.
his music, proper music that have a special words that fit to this
Mhm, mhm.
video series, for example, and that is. I don't know how he doing this, but he somehow connecting different things in YouTube, and he put it for free. But a lot of people just looking at this video like if this music clips.
Because it works.
Yeah.
Because
Perfectly.
if you figure out how to connect music to visuals,
Yeah.
it works like magic.
Yeah.
I loved it. Like, why the fuck I live to make animations to music? I love it so much, and that's basically the story of how I figure out how to do this.
So you never presented it before?
No.
I
And-
love it. I just want to say that I really like this presentation. It's
This
it's
presentation.
one of the best presentations I think I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's obviously not done professionally. We're like a very like.
I was
this-
scrolling through Telegram for 5
No,
minutes.
you know, there's a lot of things you can cut out, but like, it's just you don't see this kind of stuff. It's really hard to find where someone show the reality, like the real struggle, the real personality behind
these
it,
feelings.
with like all the details and like the thought process and the struggle.
And the like stressful
It's
messages.
just
you have to
like-
write.
Everybody who ever done something like that or tried to do something like that,
They're like, yeah, I've done it.
They go through exactly the same struggle.
Yeah.
Or they like give up maybe in the first hour.
Yeah.
So
So this is a cool story. Actually, it has rising and down
Yeah.
falls and
Yeah.
rising
And
again.
the resolution
and,
too.
and the result.
Yeah. amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you. And all this story was to describe how this technique of planning really works now for me every time. I
Because you right now have experiences that you can make something that you can't make it later. So
Okay.
maybe you can choose the exact amount of cents.
True,
Because
yeah.
too much, maybe it's not fit for you. It will be too much work.
And also,
And, you should you can choose amount of.
I know how to plan my work now.
Yeah.
So when the project manager asks me how much time you need to finish this, I just look down on this and I see that I have those blue compositions ready. I just reuse it here. I don't need to work on this. I can rethink what was this purple part, and then this transitions from the, so I have to go to Blender and make this.
Actually, audio track is a little bit down. If you scroll a little bit more, you can see that your
It correlates perfectly.
yeah,
No.
it's exactly the same, almost the same. Yes.
Hmm.
No, not the same. It's just not the same. Yeah. It's just your translation.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Audio.
So I know how to translate story from the music to the visual, and with this band, they had the perfect combination of how intricate their songs are, so that it's interesting for me to listen to, and they have stories inside, and so we worked for 2 to 3 years, and I just developed my skills with this, with every project. It's a fucking blessing, and so the way there's a different genre. It's stage visuals. They're way simpler. They have to be punchy, and not so much about the stories.
Punchy, what does it mean?
Flashy.
Flashy, true. Flashy in the context of.
Punchy. Okay. Punchy means when someone punchy.
Punchy like
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it has to like slap you. Yeah, slap you. So and now look at this. This black is darkness. This gradient transition from black to white. It's the transition in the video. The yellow scene is the yellow scene. Then we start to get some intense animations when it's orange. And
Do you know that Mr. Blue? You know Mr. Blue?
Of course I know it.
Mr. Blue started with music videos
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
watched some of them.
back in the day.
So now you incorporate more 3D as well.
But he
yeah,
hasn't
that's
done- he
like
did
2
some
years.
new ones
So what this
recent-
project
more
taught me
recently.
is how I should be really careful with art direction, and that I know nothing about 3D. Also, after this music video, I started to figure out I need to learn fast way to throw my ideas out. I didn't know any 3D software, and what I started to learn, can you guess it? Unreal Engine. Fuck. Once again, way too
Well,
much
at least it's
ambition.
real time.
Yeah, and
I thought that you will say assembler.
no, but
I just need to, play with clay figures and just, moving them frame by frame.
yeah, true. I can compose any 3D space with clay. True. Like what Blender? No. And as I learned Unreal Engine, I remember that there's this guy Brickspacer, like Russian artist, and he pushed the notch. And I remember that it's kind of real time. It's maybe 3D. Like what the fuck is notch? I have some money, and after this project, I started learning notch. And
So we not a touch designer.
not I learned Touch Designer before,
Yeah.
but I never know how to use it. Like, okay, feedback systems.
Why you choose notch? Why do you not choose touch designer?
Because Touch Designer looks like crap. Like the interface looks like crap. I'm sorry, but for me it is. And Notch just looks beautiful, and it works beautiful. It works smart. It's so fucking convenient. You have to pay money, but the experience you get with Notch, it's incomparable to any software.
Touch
But-
designer you also paid software.
Nah. I have a Pro Touch Designer, but I never paid for it.
Ah.
Yeah. Hey, Discord.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, Vladimir asked me for a notch and like, hey, do you
Oh
have
yeah, I
access
told
to
them.
Citrus Persia?
I
was
told
like,
them that you have.
no, there's no invites, but like, what software do you want? He's like, Notch. I was like, search. No, not available.
yeah, CG peers, no,
Yeah.
no.
I forwarded him to you last 3D night.
This is a bit. Nobody cracked Notch.
It has hardware license.
Ah, really?
Yeah, yeah. And I can show you my first visual for them in Notch I did. With all this same planning, like I know their song, I have the structure, like just to recap. Well, I can show how.
So this is
Wait,
another.
what was the
This is
limitation
another.
you had here?
Hmm?
What was the limitation you had here? That-
Limitation?
Yeah, like why did you go to Notch? Why did you feel like
Because
you
I
needed
knew nothing except for Notch. I didn't know Blender, I didn't know Cinema 4D.
Oh, but like you wanted something 3D.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why
and that
you-
was my only 3D tool,
Okay.
and Element 3D in After Effects,
But Notch is not for 3D. It's more like for real-time visuals.
It's for-
basic, like.
it's for anything. It's for anything if you know how to use it. So I used Notch as a motion designer for all the fucking time before the latest project, which said to me like, hey fucker, Notch is actually real time. You need to use it as a real time tool. You need to calculate like how many FPS is it, how many how much GPU power it takes. You have to consider it as a real-time project. But before that, I used Notch like this.
Oh my god, this is beautiful.
Yeah, that's fucking animation in
Wait,
Notch.
say that.
Like, what the fuck?
This is all manual keyframes?
Yeah, in Notch, in real-time software, and so I planned it out in After Effects, and then I just knew how to do it in Notch. And the structure here, it's basically the same. Here's the first scene. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's the first scene. Let's close it. Hey. Hey. I fucked it up. I'm so sorry.
Snap.
Hey. Oh.
What's happening?
Debugging.
Yeah, I disconnected it from the node network. So that's the first
I also
scene.
can't debug if someone's watching. I'm
Okay,
Oh, okay.
what are you laughing about?
I just thinking about what's happening
Okay.
on the screen.
Yeah, sorry.
And she says that you are debugging.
Mhm.
But debugging in private, because it's
Yeah, yeah.
hard to debug. with someone else.
Privately debugging something.
Okay, debugging, whatever. So now it worked. So I use this logic all the same with any software now. Like there's the intro. It was like one bar here. We have to just make splashes of color with the trumpet. Then
Yeah.
we have an intro. Then we have a like verse or chorus. It's different scene. Then we have Thank you, Notch. You have fucking BPM counter. I just counted the BPM and the lights are I didn't keyframe the lights. Thank you.
I love this kind of stuff.
You don't have the key.
Procedural things.
Yeah.
No keyframes. Yeah, it looks great all the time, right?
Yeah, and I staged
What
it.
about the, like, how is the,
Hmm?
did you keyframe the motion of these? Is it also like,
Huh, that's a great action. That's true. So this is this scene called Jumper Guns, and let's throw it here to figure out how I do it. So it's a cloner system. It's a cloner system once again. We have camera here. Hey, camera? Yeah. And the camera has math modifier shaking it. Fucking nuts with the interface resizing. Like, that's the crappiest thing about it. Like, when you find this spot when fuck yeah. Yeah. So yeah, procedural animation. So this sign rotates the camera. Yeah, so it follows the dynamics of the sound, and the guns. That's also all the procedural animation. So that's just turbulent noise for the position of the guns. We have rotation, I see. Yeah, and then sine effector, and so it goes in waves. It has random movement, and there's plane effector, which throws them away from the camera. If I'm not. It should.
throws away from the camera?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
there he is. Like, if they go to the camera, this pushes them away. Like this, you can guess it. It's a fucking basic torus with displacement. It works fucking perfectly.
It's also music driven?
No, that's manual.
No.
Sorry. I don't know.
How do you know which one?
I can try to.
You have different color.
Yeah,
Remember
but
it by color?
it doesn't help. Oh, yeah. Here you go. Yeah, those are nothing about procedural. No, I think this one increases the displacement. This one contracts it. Oh yeah, it puts. Well, fuck it. Yeah, it doesn't work on stage. Yeah, it's a good idea, but it never looks good on stage. I don't know, it just doesn't work. But when I plan the music videos, I listen to the music. Like, it sounds like the rotating barrel. And so I just plan how to do visuals just with listening to music. Everything is told in the music. Like, those are
Why
not.
doesn't it look good on stage? It doesn't look good on stage, though?
It's not. Well, for some reason it's not. I never kicked it out or something, but it doesn't work. I tried to do more visuals in Notch.
Why only one gun in all video? You just replicated one gun, and that's all. This is music video or what?
That's my friend sending me Japanese axes. One gun? Why the fuck would you need more? What?
Because why not?
Uh, well, that's the iconic gun. I
Why
don't know.
not?
I like it.
Why? You can go back and forth.
Yeah. You can use 2 guns, for example.
I don't know. It was not a problem for me. Like
Oh.
2 guns, it's a gunfight. Yeah, for this scene when the camera flies through the cloud of guns, I wanted the guns to do like this, like ones, poo and poo.
But it's impressive how much you can do with just one asset.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah,
just bunch of
it's
like,
kind of how it call it.
Constraining by creativity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Creativity by
Creative
constraining.
training or just then of notch with one model.
it's good you noticed that because it's a big part of what I wanted to tell about planning the stage visuals. What I figured out is that I need one metaphor or one visual actor, and then I just have to put it in different situations, like explore the metaphor. And here it's just guns. Do compositions with guns. No, nothing very special. In this project, the metaphor is this cabin riding an infinite road in the mountains. And then how can I explore the metaphor? It can be in pitch black. It can like multiple roads, okay. It can feel lost at times. We can rotate the camera. So for every stage visual, I don't do so much work as I thought I will do. I just build one metaphor and animate it to the music, and it works. I've seen your Unreal Engine stage, how it looked like multiple glossy people, and then camera just switches to one, to the other, to the different one. So it's one stage, but you just direct different camera angles, different actions there, and that's how it works. But I just figured out how to plan it. So that was the story. I can show you some more visuals. I can show you my failures with visuals with Notch.
this is also from Notch.
No, that's Blender. After Notch, after I was working as a freelancer with the Hatters guys, I thought to myself, I got stuck with my approach, and yeah, I can figure out how to do stage visuals, but I do it so naively, and I needed to know how the big studios do it. And so I moved to Moscow to Raketa Media production company, and there I needed to learn Blender. When we had a hiring talk, what's that? I was all about like, Notch is so cool, you can do real time, you can do projection mapping, you can do 3D, 2D, whatever. And they're like, Notch is like some weird stuff for freelancers. When you have no time to do it, it can't produce like beautiful pictures. We don't use it, we don't want to. No, you know what we use? Blender and Eevee engine. They use Eevee because it can render fast. It's not it's not real time. It's not real time engine. It's just 2D render engine, not path tracing render, and it's game engine. It's what it is, but it's not real time. It never works as fast as Notch. And I learned how to use Blender with them, and those visuals are done in Blender. So I would be so happy if anyone ever uses this technique. So you listen to music, you just put colored keyframes. It's
I'll
as simple.
definitely use it, yeah.
It's as simple as it gets. And then you see that this scene and this scene and this scene, they are the same. And you can just reuse those assets and those assets, and you clearly see how much work you have to do.
But you know, I feel like I would even try to take it to like a next level where, you know how in movies they plan color correction based like on the mood, and
Yeah.
then they make like this is a cold scene and use blue cold colors, and this is warm because it just communicates certain emotion, and then it's interesting, you can kind of plan based on like the music intensity, the emotion. If it's
It's kind of
yellow will bring more warm colors somewhere, that kind of stuff, and blue is just like dark night, like kind of. And then it also keep your scene more coherent color wise, but still dynamic.
Yeah, for me it's just dark colors are dark scenes, bright colors are some intense animations. Then it gets dark, it gets darker, it gets brighter. Yeah. The mountains hits with the drums. It was not intentional, but it worked. What's up with the sound?
What you can
Oh.
what you can suggest if for example, if you have something in your mind, before even you have a music video, but you have something in your mind,
Yeah.
what you doing?
Forgetting about it. Like, I'm hesitant to start trying it unless it's a paid project and I have a deadline. Like, the honest answer is this, and I want to fight it somehow. And I need to invent a game where I can do music videos I want and get paid for this. Yeah, and I don't know how to figure this out. So
Again? So you don't know how to do it.
I know how to do it commercially.
Okay.
So basically, I
So
have.
you doesn't have this experience. For example, you have something in your mind, and it's not fit for this music, for example. It's not fit for, I don't know, you want exact picture, for example, but it's not fit for anything. What you doing?
I don't have this situation. Like, when I listen to music and I imagine pictures, the problem I have is I have way too little resource to make all those complicated animations. That's the problem I face.
Yeah.
But I have a paper book in St. Petersburg. It's like this thick, and it's full of notes of ideas with tracks. Like, in this part, I want it to be like this animation. In this part, it's this.
Yes.
In this track, I can tell this story, and it's a burden.
You just put it in a book and put it in a table.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I only use